Hello darlings, my name is Kirsten, but you can call me Kirk, Kirsten or kitsuneday. Welcome back to my channel. It's a little while since we've checked in with each other. As far as I know, Christmas is now... Hold on, let me check my calendar. Christmas is now 6 weeks away and I've not really planned any Christmas gifts. Well, I have, but we just need to get to that in a bit. Usually I like to try and make my Christmas presents, so this year I've set myself a bit of a difficult task and I'd like to take you along with me whilst I figure this whole thing out. So I wanted to look for something different. Usually I like to try and make a crochet piece, or I will usually draw a card. However, I want to try and pick up a new hobby in the new year. So I was looking through Etsy, Pinterest, Instagram, just looking for just something fun and cute that I could make for my friends and family this year. And I came across this lovely artist on Etsy. I'll put a screenshot here. And I really loved their little customizable ceramic figures. And I just thought, oh, that's so cute, that's so amazing. So I'm gonna try and do that for my friends and family this year. The only thing is that I don't have any access to a ceramic studio. I also haven't really done much with clay. So this is going to be really interesting. And I've also decided to make everything out of air dry clay. I've also set myself the task of making around 20 of these little figures, and I'm going to try and turn them into maybe a charm or keychain that they can keep on their keys or take around with them. So yeah, let's get started. But first, before anything else, it's time to cook a very delicious meal. Okay, so now I have eaten, I'm all energized, I have my air dry clay and I'm ready to get started. I have the rough idea drafted in my sketchbook. I made my own little version of myself for practice a little while ago, just so I could get a feel for making a mini person out of clay, and it helped me decide how much clay I would need per figure. So I've managed to write down the weight of the clay that I'll be using for the head, the body and the legs and the arms. The only issue I'm going to have with air dry clay is that obviously it will dry very quickly and it's not as experimental as, say, polymer clay or maybe even ceramics. So I'm going to have to make each figure one by one instead of making the heads, the bodies, the arms and the legs in batches, because I don't want to make them and then have to take some time to pause and then find that all the pieces I've made have dried and won't stick together. And I'm not hugely experienced on being able to moisten air dry clay again so it becomes malleable, and I don't want to risk having to repeat things over and over again. So it is going to be a long process, but I think making them one by one, it means I can put a bit of time and care and love into them as well. So hopefully my friends will like them even more because they'll be quite mismatched and imperfect, I guess. Over time, I also asked my friends if they could send me some photos of their favourite outfits or their favourite hairstyles that they've had in the past year or so, just so I can get a feel for how they would like to be perceived in their little clay figurine. I bought some clay tools a while ago, and I'm going to be completely honest, I don't really know which one's which and what to use them for, so I'm kind of just winging it with this. Hello, so it's day 2 of me cracking on with my little clay figures. The first one, which was my tester one, has dried. This took me 2 attempts to make because I found the way I had measured my clay was not very accurate, so the limbs, when I put them on the first time, ended up being too thick and too chunky, and it didn't end up looking the same as the example one that I'd made. So what I'm going to do instead of measuring the clay is I'm going to just roll out little bits of clay, make sure they're the same width as the limbs for this one. By doing that, I can make it a little bit more accurate. I've also decided I'm not going to film my entire process for making these, just because it will take a long time, and I'm making 20 of them. So I'll get about halfway and I'll show you how I make them, and we'll be doing the same for painting and coating and glazing. So I hope that's alright. Also, you're going to have to bear with me because I've never filmed any of my artistic processes before, so this is going to be really interesting in how I'm presenting this to you. I hope you're enjoying it either way, and if you've clicked off, I understand. So it's been a couple of hours and I've made 3 more. This is the first one I made. It took 2 days to dry, so I'm letting these ones dry on the front, and then I'm gonna flip them over tomorrow and let the backs dry out. I'm also writing their names with a pencil on the back so I don't forget who's who. I'm kind of stressing because I've only done 4 so far and I think I've got 16 left to do, but I'm not too worried if I don't finish them all in time. I think my friends will still appreciate if I send them after Christmas anyway. I think also one of the hardest parts is trying to get the hair right, especially with air dry clay, because it's obviously, as I said earlier, it's not that flexible of a clay, so it's been like crumbling a lot, and it's quite difficult. But I'm really happy with how some of my friends' fringes are turning out. I think they look really cool. Hello, long time no see. So I have currently done 9 figures before Christmas. I have currently, out of clay and half painted, 4 more to go. But these are for friends who are a little bit more long distance, so I might only be able to finish these after Christmas. So if you're in this pile and you recognise yourself, I'm really sorry that your present is delayed. My bad. So I've currently made 9 and painted 9 little figures so far. I did make a very tiny version of myself just as like a tester because I wanted to test out the paints on the clay. I am still quite nervous about the paint that I have used. I've used Himi gouache. I got the Himi gouache paints from Amazon, but yeah, I did use gouache paints on air dry clay, which I was quite nervous about because I think I said before it's quite a porous clay, and I did find it quite hard to get fine detail put onto the clay. I did use some very tiny art nail brushes that I got from Amazon to try and get some finer detail. I know these little figures don't look very perfect, as you know, it's my first time using these kind of things. I also need to do a bit of cleanup on some of them before I cover them with a resin finish. But yeah, here's just what I've made so far. I thought I would also quickly show you what kind of brushes I was using to paint these figures. So for the main base colour, I would go in with this flat-headed brush. I mean, I think it's kind of like a flat-headed brush. I think it's kind of a flat-headed brush, and that was quite good for getting hair colour on, colours on like the jeans and things like that. To fill in any gaps after using the wider brush, I went in with this slightly thinner, pointier brush. It's a bit on the wider side compared to nail art brushes, but it really helped with getting into the smaller cracks that I couldn't really reach. For finer details, such as like outlines on the clothing and for faces, I used this brush. It looks like the same width as the previous one. However, I found whilst painting with this, I got a much finer line. This was from a nail art brush set that I just bought off Amazon. I can't remember how much I got it for, but it wasn't too expensive. And I thought the lines and details on the faces, it did very well. For example, I used it to do some fine line stripes and glasses, like on this one here, and I thought that ended up doing quite well. I feel like I could have gone a bit thinner, but because this is my first time doing it, I didn't want to give myself too many issues in terms of that. And then for eyes, I would use this dotting tool, which also came in the nail art set. It's got a very, very tiny dot. I can't remember what millimeter it is, but from doing that, I got some very nice little white eye shines from that, and I thought it worked really well. And now we're moving on to the part that I am the most nervous about, and I have never done this before. I'm also doing this part as a little disclaimer for any younger viewers who might be watching. If you are using resin, please make sure to use protection on your hands. I've got some disposable gloves just to keep my nails and keep my hands intact. I would also say use a face mask. I currently don't have any to hand, but I would advise it, even if it says the resin is low odour. Because I don't have a face mask, I am going to be sitting next to an open window, just so I've got enough ventilation coming in and so I don't go loopy from all the fumes. I'm very excited to start, but I'm also extremely nervous. Please make sure before you start, and I'm going to do the same, to watch as many tutorials as you can. Make sure to follow the instructions on the box as provided. Loads of artists have so many tips and tricks when starting up with resin, so YouTube is your best source of information, and Reddit and Instagram. If you are unsure, make sure you're doing it with someone else, or just make sure you've done enough research before you begin, because I don't want you guys to get hurt whilst using this product. I have completed the resin coating for most of my charms, and I've also added little keychains to them. So the gouache actually ended up being a lot darker than I thought. Some of the colours ended up being really vibrant, and this is after 2 coats of resin. They are a little bit on the sticky side. Not fully sticky, but they are cured, so I don't have to worry about them being unsafe for use. But I think, it turned out pretty well. The colours are really popping, and I think they look really cute. They really stand out. I did have a little accident with this one. After the first coat of resin, it chipped off a little bit of the clay. I'm not too sure how that happened, so I've painted over it, and now it's ready for its second coat after the paint has been dried. So I thought I'd maybe just film this part of me glazing the charm. So enjoy! Going to be using a little nail brush to help me spread the glaze, just very softly. You don't need a lot of resin, otherwise if the layer's too thick will end up being a bit too sticky. We don't really want that. So the problem with using pliers for these is I've got very clumsy hands. I have had an issue or two where I've I've kept dropping it because I am very clumsy. I'm not the most delicate-handed person in the world. Oh, I rest my case. So that's the second coat done. I don't think she's got any air bubbles. She's looking pretty good and pretty shiny. So now it's time to put her in the UV lamp. Let's do this. Turns out she was still a bit sticky, so I've had to put her in UV jail for now. Really sorry about this dust. That makes me so nervous, because she might get more dust on her, but she should be fine. The dust shouldn't really show up that much. She is not sticky anymore, which is good news. I'm just going to add a jump ring to her now. I don't really need this glove anymore, so I'm just going to take that off. I also bought these stainless steel heart keychains, which I just thought were really cute. I also got them in gold as well, because I know some of my friends prefer gold, some prefer silver, so yeah. Oh, I just realised I've put her the wrong way around. That's a key ring done and made for Christmas. And can't forget, I did make a little version of myself. Don't know if it really looks like me, but I'm gonna hang it on my keys or my bag or something. Say hello to the world, little me. Hi. I just remembered I completely forgot to film an outro, but thanks anyway for watching. I'm hoping to do more craft videos soon in the new year, and maybe some little like fashion bits and bobs here and there. We'll wait and see. So thank you so much for watching this process with me. Feel free to like and comment and maybe even subscribe, and if you'd like to see more from me, hit that little bell notification so you can be notified when I post more videos. You can also find me on all socials, that should be down below, at kitsuneday. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas and a happy new year. Goodbye!